Hello, what I'd like to do is talk to you and show you embossing skills. So embossing can be done with any tools. So I've got a real selection here of embossings. So these are the embossers that you can buy from the cake decorating shops or online, and you can see that they're in shape of something or just a pattern. And there's another one. So you can buy a selection of different ones. You can buy buttons, so buttons work really well. You know, the children's buttons with a little rabbit on or something, you can use those. But we've just collected quite a few over the years. Or you can use any modelling tools, or even a fork or a knife. So when you're doing embossing, you need to choose your pattern, and what you can do is go around the edge. So it needs to be suitable for what you're displaying on your board. This can go all over the cake, it can go around the edge of a board, and you just line it up to where you're going to put the embossing on the board, and you press it down gently. Now, I think the difficult thing with embossing is finding how much pressure to put on it, because if you don't put enough on, you won't end up with the pattern that you want to achieve. If you put too much on, what will happen is the pattern, or the sugar paste, will pick up this circle, in this case, the outside edge of the embossing tool. So just practice first so you can see how much pressure to put on. It needs to be lined up first before you press it in. So basically that's embossing. It's not a difficult skill to do. Once you've practiced it, you can put it straight onto a cake. But it's a very good way of decorating cakes, a nice simple way of decorating cakes. What you can also do is use some tools. So this is a ball tool, and I could make a pattern going around, just embossing the tool into sugar paste. So there you go, that's what I've done with the ball tool. You can see how quick it is. The only thing you have got to be careful is when you're using embossing tools, it can push the sugar paste, and if it pushes it to the edge of the board, you just need to run your thumb around it to check that it will push that sugar paste back in. Something like this is quite a straight embosser, so that would be suitable for square boards or square cakes. This one are really cutters, but I just want to show you that you can use cutters to emboss as well. Okay, just pressing them in will give quite a nice pattern on your sugar paste. So there is a number of ways to emboss. Some of the embossers are suitable for the occasion. So this one, I'm not sure whether you can see, it's a little chicken coming out of an egg. You can get musical notes, you can get flowers. This is a cutter, a blossom cutter, and I could use that one. But also I quite like the end of the cutter, and I could use that as well. That would make quite a nice pattern around the board. Okay. I'd like to show you something on this blue board using a knife. So this is a knife, and I'm not using the cutting side, I'm using the blunt side underneath. And what I can do is I could run the knife, press it into the sugar paste, lift it up, and that will give me an indentation. And I can do that all over. Now, what you have got to be careful when you're embossing is that you don't press too hard, because you don't want the embossing to cut through the paste. it's only going to leave an indentation. And if you find that it's not quite leaving the pattern you want, you can go back over it. And I could do that all along the board, and that would give a nice background for cutout work, for example. These are cutters. Yeah, this is a Christmas cutter, and I could use that one. So pressing it in. So embossing tools can be quite expensive, so I would always look to see what you've got and that you can use without that expense. Even something as simple as a pen, a felt pen, they sometimes have quite interesting designs on the end. And I could use that to go around the board or across the board. So just to recap, embossing is an imprint, so it's an imprint, a pattern. So you're leaving behind a pattern. Just make sure that it's nice and even, that some of them isn't too, so some of the patterns aren't too shallow or too deep. The skill is being able to press them all down the same, so it gives an even embossing. Thank you.